Well, guys, it's time that I got back into the swing of things, and we're going to kick things off in Metal March with a review request. Now, this one has been sitting in the review request box for quite some time, and I am really proud to be doing this review. This is a review of Testament's The Formation of Damnation, a request that has been sent to me by multiple users who would like to know what my opinion is on this album. Now, my experience with Testament is that I've heard some stuff from way back in some of their early albums, like The Legacy. The Legacy is really the only experience that I could say I've had with Testament. Now, that's not to say that they're a bad band or anything like that. It's just that I haven't really dove into their material. But with The Formation of Damnation, I remember when this album came out and hearing the single More Than Meets the Eye. And when I heard the title of the track, I immediately thought of Transformers. And at the time that this album came out, the first Transformers movie was coming out, and I kind of hoped that, you know, maybe Testament was doing the theme song to the Transformers movie. No, instead we got gay-ass Linkin Park. But The Formation of Damnation opens up with a nice instrumental for The Glory Of. For The Glory Of is it's a typical metal introduction track. Really nothing to speak of here. And it kicks right off into More Than Meets the Eye. More Than Meets the Eye, I feel, is a great representation of how this album is going to play out. Again, it's an introduction to an album done right. Some bands, even big-time famous bands, still can't seem to get that formula down right of how to properly introduce an album. You don't introduce an album off with a slow number and then go all-out thrash for the rest of the album. Really doesn't make much sense. Then we get other tracks such as The Evil Has Landed, Formation of Damnation. I really do like the sound of The Evil Has Landed. Chuck Billy's vocals, I feel, on The Evil Has Landed really shine. A lot of people I know aren't really too fond of his vocal style. It has a unique kind of touch to it. It's like if you were to take elements of Tom Araya and kind of put in just a little ounce of Blitz from Overkill in there, just a little bit. That's kind of what you get here with Chuck Billy's vocals. And then we have a highlight track such as Dangers of the Faithless, which one of the highlights that I would recommend people listening to if they want to get into this album. Definitely a highlight track there. Also, The Persecuted Won't Forget, which is probably, if not my first favorite, then one of my favorites on this album. This is where Alex Skolnick and Eric Peterson, their guitar skills, and really shine here. Really enjoyed this track. I feel that the next track, Henchman Ride, is a bit of a filler track. With Killing Season, we get almost kind of a Slayer sound and feel. And Afterlife is another filler track. And then we get another highlight track such as Fear, which I really enjoyed listening to Fear. It's another one of those highlight tracks. The closing track to this album, Leave Me Forever, is probably the most unique on this album because it opens up with almost it opens up with a jazz breakdown kind of sound going to it. And I feel that this track was primarily Alex Skolnick's influence because hearing some of the other stuff that he's done outside of the realm of metal, I think he really had an influence here of how this song was written. That's not to say that having jazzy kind of feel in your thrash is a bad thing. I feel it gives a unique feel to this song, mixing some of that jazz breakdown stuff with thrash metal. Production-wise, this album is everything that I would have expected from a modern thrash album. Does the sound really innovate in that department? No, not really, but then again, it's Testament. They don't need to change their sound that radically to get me to buy an album. So with The Formation of Damnation, I'm going to give this album an 8 out of 10. You know, it's worth a listen. If you like thrash metal and you haven't listened to this album yet, I can recommend that you go out and listen to it. It's nothing really bad on this album. I can't think of anything that really ticked me off or otherwise. It's got some filler tracks here and there, but overall I enjoyed it. Some highlight tracks to check out would be The Evil Has Landed, Dangers of the Faithless, and The Persecuted Won't Forget, and maybe Fear. We'll throw Fear in there because I'm feeling a little generous this morning. Metal March will continue. I'll be throwing in some review requests along with maybe even a discography review before a certain album drops later this month. Thanks for watching. Give a thumbs up, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, like my page on Facebook for more behind the scenes stuff. Danny here from Metal Couch, signing off.